Well, friend, namaskar and good morning. Let's start the session. So, today basically I'll be discussing one way of making a strategy to handle your cause and effect. And that cause and effect diagram is called the fishbone diagram or the sequoia diagram. Generally, it is used in the manufacturing industry, production industry, even service industries. But this is also, I personally feel that when we talk about our academic institute, this particular system also fits well there. So in this situation, let's discuss this diagram. This is not very difficult, but it is a good approach to solve your problem and mainly for the continuous improvement. It is a very good approach. So IQSC center can follow this fishbone diagram and accordingly they can take care of their requirement. So if you see that the main problem which to be addressed, for example भी मैं इसका I have one example beyond this also. So the main problem which is to be addressed to be kept on the mouth of the piece, that is in the forward direction. You have to draw a arrow like this, what I am showing here. You have to draw an arrow like this, and the front end of the arrow should be the problem. So this is basically the mouth of the piece is the problem. Then on the ribs, the main cause for that problem to be defined. In your opinion, whatever you feel as the main problem, they should be put on the ribs. So for example, if you see here, they have gone with the 6M approach in this particular diagram. So the problem is here. One of the main cause is machine, second main cause is measurement, then environment, method, manpower, materials, like that, the main cause. So in our institute or in our university, we have to also, for a particular problem, what is the main cause needs to be addressed here. And more or less you see that you'll be falling under either 7 P's or 6 M's or 4S. You'll be lying in this type of category, which we'll be explaining after 2-3 slides. Then once the main cause are defined after due discussion, brainstorming in your places, then these sub fins are decided. The sub fins are decided in such a way that small cause which is leading to the main cause are to be defined in this type of locations. So the main cause is here. Main cause is due to so many small causes. Those small causes are to be kept in the, maybe I can tell you like this type of things. The main causes, then you'll have many branches to show that what are the sub causes. So the sub causes are to be listed out. Then during your discussion, first you have to elaborately list it down. First you have to elaborately list it down. Once it is elaborately listed, then you can start eliminating. That this small cause is not a major cause, can be eliminated. This sub cause is a major cause, cannot be eliminated. This needs to be addressed to take care of the main cause. So this is the way you have to pin it out. All these type of fans you have to bring to the main cause, and your diagram will be slightly a complex one like this. So this needs to be drawn in a whiteboard, or maybe earlier we used to do using the drawing sheet, but now it is whiteboard is a better option for this. Then in that whiteboard you have to have a brainstorming in a group, and accordingly you can proceed. So how to draw this particular fish diagram, how to go about this fish diagram, this is some steps which I would like to share. First, discuss and agree to the problem, that this mouth, if you are talking about the problem, so what is that problem which you need to address, that needs to be first decided after a due discussion. So this is the first stage, that the group should sit together, discuss, and they should agree, yes, this is one of the problem. For example, admission is a problem. So if you see admission is a problem, then, and you agree that yes, for our institute or for our university, PG admission is a problem, then you can define that as a problem in front of you, and that will be kept as the problem at the mouth of the fish. This is the admission. Then for this admission, write the problem statement at the center right of the flip chart or the dashboard. Then draw a horizontal line on that. Then brainstorm the primary causes for this problem. So that is what is the primary causes needs to be again brainstorm. Once the problem is accepted, then what are the primary causes that needs to be decided. So for example, like all six M if you want to bring, then these causes are to be put on the main rib. So problem is here, main ribs, the causes are to be put. So the second point is go for the causes. So after the brainstorming, the causes are found out. Next step is that write category of causes as branches from the main row, which already I have explained you. Then the brainstorm possible causes. Why does this problem happen? Why this is happening? As each of you will contribute to this particular problem, you will be talking that because of this it is happening, because of this is happening. Those statements are to be put in this sub causes. So you have a major problem, then the causes of the problem, then each cause is due to certain sub causes, and those sub causes are to be discussed, and that is what exactly what you are trying to answer why this is happening. So many idea will come, like many people will give this the idea in such a way that you'll find that a lot of branches are coming out for a particular main cause. So when so many such branches are coming out, the next step is that to go for eliminating or filtering those so many sub causes which have been explained or discussed by your colleague. So the groups should go for making the situation that everybody runs out of the ideas. That you put so much of inputs in this diagram, like where it is, if you see here, it is so complex. Put all such of inputs which are given by your friends and the group mates. So go on writing everything as the branch component for the main cause. Then gradually when you see that your group is completely out of your ideas, then in that situation, the next stage comes to eliminate the sub causes, optimize it, then boils down to a stage where you can work upon on those causes. So therefore, this is an approach called the fishbone diagram approach. So the fishbone diagram approach is basically a strategy for the cause and effect. And the cause and effect, unless you know the cause, unless you find out the effect, due to this cause, your problem cannot be defined. So once you understand this problem, then backward you are calculating using this fishbone diagram, and you are getting to the main cause, and you are deciding the sub causes to find out the solution for that. So now, for example, I have taken one of this particular example. So I have not drawn it as a fish diagram, but this is a layout of the fish diagram which we will be discussing now. If you see here, my main cause is placement. I found that, let's say, this institute or the university is not performing well in the placement. When we talk about the placement, it is not the placement alone, because the higher learning also is coming to picture. So placement and higher study is a problem statement for me. Like in this fish diagram, the problem mouth of the fish is my placement and higher study. So the problem is in our mind, and this is the problem which we have to address. Now, when I look into this problem, then we see that what can be the main cause for this problem. So I have followed the same 6M approach here, and I'll justify how the 6M approach is coming into picture. So I define the main cause, this main problem, as placement and higher study, and for that my causes are manpower, management, market, machine, method, and material. I've just gone with that 6M approach of the fishbone diagram, or the things which are taken care in manufacturing industry. When we talk about the manpower, if main cause is the manpower, then my sub component may be there is no placement officer. The placement officer is there, but the supporting staffs are not there. Then the placement officer is there, whereas each department counselors are not there. Mark the different component which I am bringing. So the main problem which I defined as the placement and higher study. So keeping that problem in my mind, I said that the manpower is a main cause for this. This is not yielding to the result expected from the university, because in my one of the main cause is the manpower. And when I am going for the manpower, the sub branches which are supposed to come out of this, like we'll be bringing the sub branches here. The sub branches may be the training and placement officer, dedicated training and placement officer is not there. If he is or she is there, he is not experienced enough or she is not experienced enough, then even if she is or he is experienced, the supporting staffs are not there, the office is not maintained. There is no follow-up action out of that. So they are suffering in the lack of manpower. Then, so many such fins out will be possible. You can fan it out from this place. So these are the things which is taking care of the manpower requirement of your placement office. So you can think of how to improve, which component to be improved, when to be improved. So all those things, when you are going to answer here, the manpower limitation can be handled. Now suppose I see that another main cause is the management. The management is not supporting. It is not giving the required investment which is required to train the training and placement officer, to allow the training and placement officer to go to different industries to contact them. No proper TADA or facilities is given. The management has not given a good office for the placement officer. The management has not given a interview room or the group discussion room. So maybe management is also one of the main cause, and their policy may be one of the main cause. So therefore, in the management also there will be a lot of sub branches or sub causes which are possible. Then when I come to the next main cause for the placement is the machine. Here when I am talking about the machine means basically the equipments, the advanced laboratories which are supposed to be there. Now we are looking forward to a placement and the institute doesn't provide them the right kind of the software. The laboratories are not equipped. The industry sponsored laboratories are not existing. So like that, from the machine side or from the equipment side or from the laboratory side, you can bring so many branches to see that it is also one of the main cause of non-performance in the placement or higher studies. Then when I come to the market, this market is means what environment you are putting yourself. That the market is that no many big companies are around. Only the IT company is coming to you. So you are unable to put the people in the branch or this discipline related activities. So the market is basically, this M stands for the environment where your institute or university is located. So if the locality is not surrounded by many industries, and if this surrounding is not having that ecosystem, then obviously this will be a main cause, and you must find out a way out to compensate this main cause by different sub causes. Then coming to the material is that input. So when we talk about material for our institute or university is that inputs, the input of the students. So what quality students you are getting? So even if you have a good machine, if the material is not good, so obviously the machine will not give that type of desirable output. So therefore the material is basically the students. So once you take a student profile here, then you'll get to know where they lag. So once you are creating that lagging chart here, that becomes the sub causes for the materials. Like let's say your university or the institute is located in a rural location. So if it is located in a rural location, so there is problem of communications. The students are more confined to the regional languages. Diversity is less, so the exposure is less. So if these are the materials which you are having, if the inputs are these type of materials, so basically the materials are students. So if that is the materials, then how to handle these situations? So those sub causes are to be again also written here in this particular main cause. Then the method. So this method is basically the different strategies which you are trying to improve. Maybe you are not conducting pre-placement training. Maybe you are not doing the mock interviews. Maybe you are not asking the industry people to come and tell your students to prepare what type of preparation is required for this particular company. Maybe you are not conducting training for your student through professional agencies. So here these processes comes, methods, all these processes will come into picture. So if you see here, very well the fishbone diagram is fitting into the requirement of improving the placement activities of your institute. So the effect is placement. The causes are this 6M, maybe you can put more. Already I have given you the your 8 P's approach. Even if you want to make it a small one, 4S approach you can tell, and like that you. So for example, like guidance, upscale, language lab, remedial coaching, counseling. Remedial coaching is your method. Language lab is basically machines. Then soft skill is again method training. Counseling is again a method. So the remedial coaching is basically again a method. So many such things can be written as the sub cases for main cause. So once this becomes the proper way discussed, then you can find out where you have a high priority requirement. Your low priority requirement means that doesn't cause that much effect. So therefore the low priority can be attended in a low profile way. But the high priority things which is affecting your effect or the problem must be taken care priority on priority, so that you can improve upon the problem which you have decided to be addressed. So this is the way, like I'll suggest that all IQSC center, they should create the cause and effect diagram, which we call fishbone diagram, and let it be a very elaborate document in your IQSC document. And for each effect, find out the main causes, find out the main sub causes. For main sub causes, create the team. For main causes, create the team. Create a mentoring systems, monitoring systems, and go on reviewing periodically. Then you will see that this causal diagram, which takes care of the past and present, will not affect your future. It will lead to a good future, and you will be in a position to solve the problem adequately. So today, if you have any question, you can ask me now, because second half is more or less creating the fishbone diagram for 1-1 criteria. So second half, when we'll be meeting, each center has been given, like I'll be giving, this is the task for today's afternoon. So you can see you can note down your tasks. So in second half, this is the task which will be doing it. Like ABS, yours is criteria 1. Manavrachana University, yours is criteria 2. Delhi Technical Campus, yours is criteria 3, research, innovation and extension or the outreach. Anjuman, yours is student support and progression, criteria 5. SBKM is infrastructure and learning resources, criteria 4. Aditya Group, governance, leadership, and management, and those who are participating individually. You have not, you have just register yourself individual participants. For them, the tax is institutional values. Yeah, this is a spelling mistake here. It is values, not values. Institutional values and best practices. So the ICT centers, please note down, this is the tax. In second half, you have to do, you have to draw the fishbone diagram. If multiple issues are coming, so multiple fishbone diagrams you have to draw, you have to explain that. So the second half is fully dedicated to your group tax, where I'll be seeing the fishbone diagram. So now if you have any question in this fishbone diagram, you can ask me. Otherwise, I'll go to the next, which I want to discuss with you. If any individuals or any center is having any question on the fishbone diagram, you can ask me. So if there is no questions, because this is not a very difficult or complex diagram that you'll have some doubt, but definitely when you sit for working on the tax given, then you'll find a lot of issues. The sub causes will lead to a lot of issues. So that when you work upon only, you will get to know it. So that's the way we'll look into this. I have given you the key indicators like the ABS group, you have criteria 1. This was the key indicators you can note down, so that this will help you to go for the sub causes. Because this is the key indicators which we discussed during our NAG presentation. So ABS group, because yours is the criteria 1, so the key indicators you can note down, that will help you to go for your sub causes. Manav Rachana, you are in criteria 2, so yours is this key indicators. You can just take a photo of this. So these key indicators will help you to decide your sub causes. So this is the key indicators for Manav Rachana. Then third is Delhi Technical Campus. Delhi Technical Campus, I think I've given research and innovations. So here is criteria 3. So these are the sub causes or the key indicators you can keep in your mind while solving the fishbone diagram. So this is the factor which you have to keep in mind. Then criteria 4 is for SBKM. So SBKM, you note down infrastructure and learning resources. So this is the criteria 4 which has been given to SBKM. So these are the 4 key indicators. You may increase your key indicators, but cover this 4 at least, because NAG takes care of this. So sub causes will be more. So accordingly, you can decide what are the sub causes to be taken. Then the Anjuman, yours is criteria 5, student support and progression. So these are the criteria, Anjuman, you people have to note down that this is the criteria which you have to work upon for the fishbone diagram.
Sir, can you please show that diagram where the ABS is written, curriculum, and I want to see.
ABS is criteria 1, if I remember correctly. Yes, ABS is criteria 1. This is
Okay.
your curriculum aspect.
Okay, sir.
So here, all these 4 you have to, when you are talking, your problem is a curricular aspect. I'll just explain since you have raised a question. So fish mouth will be your curriculum aspect.
Okay, sir.
So fish mouth, this is the effect you want that curriculum aspect should be improved. So the fish mouth should be curriculum aspect. For this, the main causes are this. So the reefs, the M which I was showing, machine, man, this. So basically your reefs will be having 4 such main causes. So one is curriculum design development, curricular planning, academic flexibility, curriculum enrichment, feedback system. You can put more, but these 4 minimum you have to take. So this is your main causes. Now these main causes will have so many sub causes which you have to decide. So accordingly, you'll create a fish diagram for curriculum aspect. So that this fish diagram will give an idea to others, to including you, that if we follow this strategy, our curriculum will be always updated. It will meet the industrial requirement, or whatever you are looking forward to, that will be addressed. So ensure that these four main causes are part of the ribs. You can put another 2, 3 if you see, like I see the industrial things are not here, so you can implement that. But if you want to take industrial component as partial, as sub causes, you can put that. So accordingly, you have to do it. Similarly, for this Manamrachana, your fish mouth will have teaching, learning, and evaluations. So your mouth will be teaching, learning, and evaluations, and your main causes on the reel or the reed will have the dots for these 7 main causes. Then you have to go for creating the sub causes for that, and you'll come out with a phase diagram like this. So is the case for the third, fourth
Sir,
situation.
sir, me myself, Dr. Sandeep Srivastava from Manarachana.
Yeah.
Sir, I want to know that can you show the say, key indicators again? That slide is there so
Is
that
it there? I have kept already. Please see. For Manav Rachana, it is teaching, learning, and evaluation.
yes,
There are 7 key indicators which are basically the main causes of the phase diagram.
yes,
So these are 7 M's, you can say. These are the 7 M because M based analysis I did in the first diagram. So these are the 7 M's for you.
okay, sir,
So after you take the 7 M's as the main cause, each cause will have many sub causes.
yes,
So you have to point out what are those sub causes which can be solved immediately, which needs more attention, which is a long-term solution. Those things have to be divided. So when you are creating these sub causes, you see that the causes which can be addressed quickly is low priority one. So you can keep it in that type of the diagram. When you are putting the drawing the lines, the bigger lines is for long term causes, like which will take more time. Short arrow when you are putting means the causes which can be addressed very quickly. So like that, the sub causes you can do that. That is the way you can draw so that your diagram will be more explanatory for others.
thank you, sir, thank you.
So similarly for Delhi Technical Campus, I have shown you criteria 3, Anjuman criteria 5. So the criteria 5 is student supports and progression. So student support and progression become the mouth of the piece. These are your 4 M's. You can increase more, and accordingly sub causes you have to take and draw the diagram. Then for SBKM, already I have shown you the criteria 4. If you have not noted it down, if you want me to show it again, I can do that. For Aditya, it is governance. So governance is the last criteria. In fact, sixth criteria, sorry. Governance, leadership, and management. Seventh criteria is I have given to the individual people. So Aditya Group, this is your effect, that governance, leadership, and management. It is the problem. So the mouth of the piece will have this. Then you are having 5 M's, and but you can increase it more also if you feel like. And for this 5 M, you have to. So the 5 causes are here, which are key indicators. For this 5 causes, you'll have multiple sub causes. So multiple sub causes you must put, then how many you are eliminating, that should be noted down. Finally, what is the optimal phase diagram you are showing, that should be shown to us. So during the discussion, all this thing will come that initially 10 sub causes were there, then we again discussed, then we found that this is overlapping, this is superfluous. So therefore we reduce 3-4 sub causes. So finally we have brought this type of sub causes, which are these sub causes can be addressed in a short time. These sub causes needs longer time. This sub causes needs more finance. This sub causes doesn't need finance, do not need finances. Like that, you have to explain. So that's the way this sixth criteria will be handled. The individual people who are registered, not sitting in the ICT center, for you it is institutional values and best practices is the requirement. So your problem is this: you have only 3 main causes. If you want to put for a balance another 4 cause, you can add. I give it to you because I can tell you here right now. I will not tell because I want you to participate in this. Then give the sub causes and create the diagram. So if you see here, the objective of making you to come out this diagram means all the 7 causes will have 7 fish diagrams. All your 7 problems or the 7 criteria will have 7 fish diagram. So based on this 7 fish diagram, you will be in a position to define a bigger phase diagram for NAC 7 criteria. In fact, if you do the exercise today, each center, if sincerely you do the exercise today, you are helping each other to create a main phase diagrams which is required for the NAC for solving the 7 criteria. So if you can really generate a good phase diagram, that will take care of your things. So remember, problem will be here. The key indicators are the main point of the reefs, which are like machine measurement here. Then each main point will have sub causes. That is the way you have to proceed.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, this is Mangesh Valpande from SVKM. Sir, can you show that task PPT one more time?
BM is student support and progression, no?
No, sir, no, sir. That one. The distribution to all the colleges.
No, I didn't get you. What is that? What is
Sir,
SBKM?
yeah, sir. Previous slide. Previous slide.
This one?
Previous, sir. Sir, previous.
Wait a minute.
Yes, yes,
SBM
sir.
is
Yes.
criteria 4.
Yeah.
You are talking from SBKM, no?
Yes, sir.
Yes. Mangesh, you are from SBKM, isn't it?
Yes, sir. Correct.
So it is your criteria 4. Criteria 4 is infrastructure and learning resources.
Okay. Okay, sir.
Note down this. You can take a photo of this one.
Yeah, sir. Just a minute. I am taking this
So
screenshot.
your problem is infrastructure and learning resources, and your main causes are for physical facilities, library, IT infrastructure, maintenance of campus infrastructure. So these are the four causes or M you can say, but you can put 1, 2 more also if you wish. Then you have to find the sub causes for that.
Yes, sir. Sure. Thank you, sir.
So if we are done with this particular understanding, then I would like to proceed to one of the things which that day was raised as a question. One of the participants, I forgot the name, but she was very honest in telling that such COPO mapping, how it is important. We could just put like that. This is the existing POs of NBA that attributes, graduate attributes in name of ABET language we say. They are 12 in number at moment, but news are you'll be getting after January. We are reducing the number of POs. Like in Polytechnic, I have created 7 POs. So I was the chairman of that committee which created the SAR for Polytechnic. We have created the 7 POs. And in MCA also, if I remember correctly, I made only 8 POs. So the POs we have reduced, but anyhow, these are the POs where you see the POs are already defined by the accreditation committee, and the accreditation body has already given you the POs. In these POs, you have to find out, you have to segment it, dissect it. After the due dissection, you have to find out the key words from the POs. So, for example, let's say take the first POs. It is apply, knowledge, mathematics, science, engineering fundamental, and engineering specialization. Underlining complex engineering problem. So if you see here, engineering knowledge, which the student will have as an attribute, which is a gun, he will be, with that gun, he will be in a position to apply the knowledge of mathematics, science or engineering fundamental or engineering specialization to solve any complex problem. So is the case for all other component of this. You have to dissect. For example, let's say PO4, conduct investigation and complex problem. Basically, if you see the conduct investigation and complex problem, this person should knows the research method. He should be capable of designing experiment. He should be capable of analyzing. He should be capable of interpreting the results or data, and he should be capable of synthesizing the information. So basically, if you see, this is dissected in such a way that research method is one, then designing of experiment is another one. Hello. So designing of experiment one, then analysis is another, interpretation is another, synthesis is another. So like that you have to dissect. But when we go to the PO3, then we see design is there, component level understanding and designing is also there. At the same times, while designing, they are taking care of the public health and safety and cultural and societal requirement. So that means your design is not a blind one. It is also with the knowledge of its possible effect on the health, safety and cultural aspect of the society. So once you have the dissected part of the POs, then I'm going to discuss one of the component that you will understand. You see here also, like in POs, certain POs are lifelong learning. How to dissect this? Recognize the need for, that means the candidate should have the attitude of learning. Then must have the ability to independently learn. And also should be in a position to broadly take into the technological changes which are happening, because it is engineering related, so therefore it is technological. In general, if you see the changes, will not use the word technological, the changes. Similarly, when we talk about the POs 11, this project management and finance, that means the person will have, it will demonstrate certain knowledge on the management principle and also apply this knowledge for managing the projects, like team lead or working as a member of the team working in a multidisciplinary environment. And while performing well in his own work, he should be in a position to deliver in the team also. So like that, it is coming. When it comes to individual, it is the effectiveness of individual members while showing its own efficiency, how he is capable of operating in a diverse multidisciplinary setting. So a person from north, when he is landing in the place like Bangalore in a south environment, how is coping up with the situations while performing well, is also making a good team approach, becoming a good team members, and also in a position to take care of the multidisciplinary approach of the projects. So if you are in a position to understand the POs in a dissected way, like we say modern tool use. So if the person is capable of applying, one is create, you may not be in a position to create, but you will be in a position to, like augmented reality tools, you may not create, but you will be in a position to apply. So whether you are in a position to use the modern tools or not, for example, you may not be in a position to create the ChatGPT, but you can apply the ChatGPT, like yesterday we were doing. So when you have this type of dissected approach, then you'll see that the dissected approach will give you the keywords from the POs. So you have to note down the keywords from each POs. Once it is done, then go to your subject. So I have taken a subject called major project. You see in our final year students, they go through the minor project and major project. So in major project, what exactly we look into? As a teacher, when I'm looking into this as a subject, then what is coming into in my mind, let's see what are the key indicators for these major projects. Before going for the COs to be defined, let me look into the key indicators. The key indicators is that if the major problem is a good project, then it is to be defined as an industrial problem, or the industry must launch it as a project for you. So definitely one of the key indicators is that industry defined problem. Then secondly, I see that the student must have a skill to use the equipments and hardware tools. Because if you are going for a major project, which is software and hardware both, then the students should be in a position to use the equipments and hardware tools. So their skills should be there. Since the project involves application of the softwares or maybe development of software, so they should have a latest knowledge in that. So definitely we'll look forward to the knowledge in this particular thing. Then not only having the knowledge, they should be capable of applying this knowledge and model the problem. So it is basically part of the design. When you are modeling the problem, it is basically part of the design. Then once the person is in a position to model the problem, he should be in a position to simulate that using the software. So basically apply the knowledge of the software and simulate the problem to create the data. So once you simulate the problem, the data is created, then it requires your analysis and interpretation. So if you see here, it is not only the simulation, when it is generating the data needs to be analyzed. Because in a complex problem, if you don't analyze the data, you cannot interpret, further synthesis is not possible. So therefore, this analysis is also part of the major project. So once this is analyzed and multiple iteration is done in a software environment, then we'll get an optimized design. Once the optimized design is achieved, then we go for the prototyping, making a hardware for that. So once we are doing a prototyping, that means I should use my skill of using the tools. I must use the skill of using the equipments. Then only I can create a prototyping. So once I create a prototype, then it is now demonstration. So I have to demonstrate that prototype, how it is working. So demonstration is also part of that. While demonstrating, I have to explain that to the outside audience. While making the prototype, I will be communicating with my team members. While simulating also, I will be communicating with my team members to make them understand, or I'll also will be receiving the communication from them to make myself understood for this type of problem. So therefore, after so communication is also one of the parameters under this major project as a key indicators. Then report writing, obviously project report is a requirement. So report writing is a part of the documentation, is a part of the key indicators. And also I have to present my seminar and vivas. So presenting the major project also will be there. So there can be another 3-4 extra. I just put 11 key indicators for my subjects. Then I'll define that anything which is meeting the key indicators out of 11, 1 to 4 is low, 5 to 7 is moderate. Any component, any COs or POs which is meeting more than 7 these key indicators will be my high. So basically 1, 2, 3, Joe, that day you told, sir, we just put arbitrarily 1, 2, 3. It is not done like this. I didn't create a rubrics to show you that, because I don't know whether many of you are having an idea of creating the rubrics. So I'm going in a very layman way of explaining how you should map this low, moderate, high, or 1, 2, 3 with your COPOs. The articulation diagram or the articulation matrix which you create, that articulation matrix is very important. And unless you do this type of homework, the articulation matrix will not give a right foundation for your COPO attainment calculation. So that is the reason why I am showing you that a typical problem, the major project is a complex problem, because when we pick up a major project, it is a complex problem. It will have many dimensions, it will have multi-variables. So therefore, when you pick up a complex problem, then this complex problem can have many key indicators. First, define those key indicators. If you are teaching a simple subject, so this divide the subject into key indicators first. Then keep your own benchmark. How many indicators, if it meets, it will be defined as high. How many are moderate or low? High, like that you have to define first. Once it is done, then you will be defining 5 to 6 COs. So let me define the COs here. I have defined 6 COs that able to apply the engineering knowledge to analyze, able to model, simulate, design and experiment and interpret the complexity, apply modern tools, demonstrate the professional ethics, able to contribute independently also in team, demonstrate the communication skill through presentations and report writing, apply reasoning to take care societal, health and legal issues. So if these 6 COs I have defined, then now this COs needs to be mapped to the 12 POs. So when I am going for mapping of the 12 POs, you have to create this type of tables. So the subject is measure project here. The key indicators are written here. Exactly the same key indicators I should have brought, but I thought let me just go with a simpler one. So exactly the same key indicators you have to bring here, what you have defined in the previous slides. So once the key indicators are written here, your 6 COs which you have defined needs to be brought into picture. So once the 6 COs which you have defined is written here, then you have to go for a mapping or correlation between these key indicators and the COs. So you have to define your key indicator and COs in such a way that you'll see that many of the key indicators may not be matching many times. Many or some of the key indicators will be matching to many COs. So that is the way you'll get a multiple this errors diagram here. So that will give a fair analysis of CO's definition, that my COs covers my all key indicators which a subject is supposed to deliver. So this is basically subject to CO's mapping. Generally, this is the question which the visiting teams asks, and the faculty members they get confused, unable to explain it. But if you have done this job, one more job also you can mention here, the Bloom's level. To what extent you want to address the Bloom's level here also can be defined. But I didn't make it a more complex situation for you, but as a teacher you can do that. So once the key indicators and the COs are mapped, then next is your POs. So list down the POs. So when you are going for the POs, then if you see this PO is mapping, let's say CO1 is mapping with, let's CO4 is mapping with, let's say PO3 or PO2, or CO1 is mapping with PO2. Then look, CO1 is connected to how many key indicators of yours. So if majority of key indicators are joined to CO1 greater than 7 as you defined earlier, and it is also the CO1 segments, majority of the dissected segment of PO2 are matching with CO1. Majority of the dissected segment of PO2 is matching with CO1, then both way you are highly coupled. In terms of key indicator to your CO, it is highly coupled or correlated. In terms of CO and PO, also it is highly correlated because majority of the segment of the POs are matching with the CO. So therefore, you can write it as high or give 3 marks. Suppose your number of segments in POs are 3 and only one segment is matching with CO. So maybe your key indicators are more, but here the mapping is not high. So therefore, you'll have a balance. That even though it is matching 1, you will not write it moderate because majority of the key indicators are associated with this CO. Try to understand this. That let's say the PO2 is having 3 segmented, dissected segment keywords. Keywords of POs are 3. If all 3 are matching, then your CO1, PO2 is very highly mapped. But if it is just mapping with 1, you cannot say low because your key indicators of the subjects almost all 8, 9 are with CO1. So if 8, 9 of key indicators are with CO1, if it is mapping with PO2, even if it is with one segment, majority of the key indicators are addressed or mapped to the PO2. So therefore, even if the segment 1 is only mapped to CO1, you will put it as moderate. And you justify writing this, that even if it is one segment, it is taking care of many of the key indicators of the my subject. So therefore, I give him 2 marks, give it 2 marks, not 1 mark. I put it in moderate. Is that clear? Or you would like to ask any question here? Is it clear to you this how I am dissecting the POs and its correlation with the key indicators with the subject first, and the COs with subject first, then COs with the PO segment, then again bringing a multiple stage coupling to the final decision whether it will be high, low, or moderate. Anybody want to come in here? Anybody wants to ask any questions? So now one of the things which we miss when we visit, because the COPO is also part of NAC. So not only it is for NBA, it is also very much part of the NAC. So therefore, this is one of the issues which you need to address. Unless you actually do it in this type of tabular form, you will not get a clear picture how this high, moderate, low values are assigned, and you think that this is the way that arbitrarily you can put 2, 3, 4, it will not work. So the COPO requirement is a requirement of the NBA as well as NAC, and attainments are to be calculated separately. You know the process, but the articulation matrix is a requirement which you need to address first. Okay. Before this if you want can take as an assignment. Tomorrow I'll take a presentation from you, because we have kept a participants presentation, so you can take this as one of the assignment and you can discuss tomorrow on any of the subjects which you are good at, defining the key indicators, then COs for that, and mapping with the POs the way I told you, and making a proper justification to that. So you have to create multiple such arrows to ensure that it is mapping well. Okay.